I 31F cheated on my perfect husband 33M of 5 years. Story 1. My husband and I have been married for 5 years, together for 9. I messed up in the worst way possible. Sorry for the length. Allow me to preface this post by stating that my husband is perfect to me in every way imaginable. He is kind, sincere, honest, open-minded, intelligent, easygoing, and humorous. He is and always has been a very down-to-earth kind of person. I am attracted to him in every way, and our emotional, verbal, physical relationship has never had any issues. I work in an industry which requires a fair amount of travel, 2-4 weeks per month for about 3-4 days per week. Most of my travel involves going to conferences and whatnot with colleagues at work and or in the industry. I often need to have dinner and drinks with these people as it is part of the job. At an event about 3 months ago, I met this man. Let's call him Hank. From the first moment I met him, I found Hank to be absolutely gorgeous. He was the type of guy who could control a room with his charisma and the way he interacts with others. People were just instantly drawn to him and his personality, myself included. Later on that evening, I was having a drink at the hotel bar by myself before heading up to my room to call it a night. At least I thought. Hank shows up and asks if he can grab a seat next to me. He remembered my name, which was a surprise given how many people he was meeting at once. In any case, Hank and I got to talking and I ended up having more drinks with him. Flirting ensued, then touching, then me agreeing to let him walk me up to my hotel room. You know what happens then? The cheating. I let him in and that was that. Now is also a good time to state that Hank was unaware of my marriage. I never told him I was married. Never even casually dropped it in our conversation. In fact, when we woke up that next morning, I immediately started bawling, shocked as to what I had done. Hank attempted to console me and I told him through tears that I was married. All I remember is him saying, "Oh, is it?" and looking at me completely shocked. Then I remember the door closing a few minutes later. I told my work I was feeling very ill and they let me catch an early flight home. When I got home, my husband was just getting home from work. He thought I was surprising him by coming home early. I've done that before, but he saw that something was wrong. I lost it and told him everything. Right then and there. I will never get the image of his eyes out of my head. Such an incredible amount of shock mixed with sadness. He tried to compose himself the best he could, but I noticed the slight shaking in his hands. He didn't say a word, packed an overnight bag and left. He texted me an hour after saying he was staying at his brother's for the night and left it at that. Fast forward 3 months to now. I have asked him if we can seek marriage counseling and he won't answer me. I have asked him if we can talk about it and he doesn't want to. He has slept in the spare bedroom since I told him. In fact, he has said maybe 10 things to me in the last 3 months. Things like he took out the garbage or asked me if I was done using the shower. I know my actions were wrong and completely 100% my fault. For the life of me I cannot figure out why I even cheated on him in the first place. I want to save my marriage. I'm desperate. I will do anything to fix this. Our friends and families know what happened. My own parents have told me that if he wants a divorce, then I should honor it. I hope to God it doesn't come to that. Any advice is appreciated. I don't know what else to do. I want to cry every time I see him and smother him with love and kisses and affection. He doesn't display any emotion in front of me and I just know this is destroying him inside. I will do anything and everything for him and us to be better. I don't want to lose the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, him. Update, I need to clarify a few things. To the people accusing me of being some sort of troll or member of the Red Pill, I don't even know what that is, and sending me threatening messages, please stop. Regarding my wedding ring. Yes, I wear a ring. When my husband gave it to me, neither of us had much money, so it's just a simple band. Nothing extravagant. I've never wanted or needed anything else. But yes, that is a good question. People in my line of work have money and I'm the only person around usually without a giant rock on my finger. That could have been it. I don't know and I don't care. I'm not attracted to Hank and haven't been since the incident. Period. I ducked up. I know I did. I'm just trying to get actual advice from other people that might have been on my side of the scenario. TL, Dr. cheated on my perfect husband while on a business trip. Confess to him. Several months have passed and he won't talk to me, look at me, and doesn't want to interact with me in any shape or form. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1. Even if he forgave you 100%, what would stop you from doing this again? You say you had a perfect marriage. Yet, you wanted to cheat simply because the other man was hot. There really is no way of telling if you will ever do this again or not. For that reason alone, your husband can't just take you back and trust you again. I'm sorry for your husband. I hope you can let him go and be happy with someone who wants a perfect husband. Clearly you didn't, and wanted some drama in your life. Redditor 2, he's emotionally checked out. Do yourselves both a favor and start the divorce. Redditor 3, I cannot stand a cheater. When I read these types of posts it tears me up inside and I try to put myself in your husband's shoes. He trusted you and you spread your legs for another guy. When he looks at you, in his mind he sees you giving this other guy a blowjob, him eating you out, you moaning in pleasure, calling the other guy's name as you climax. He sees you asking him the coworker to give to you hard and fast. Did you even use a condom? Did he see him inside you? Did you swallow? All of these things will be going through his mind. Now, when you go on these work trips, how is your husband ever supposed to trust you? He trusted you as his wife, and you ducked another guy. Now, as for advice. You appear to be remorseful and genuinely sorry. But, how can you ever guarantee him that you won't do it again? There are a lot of suave, good-looking guys in this world. Are you capable of keeping your panties on? Sit down with him and tell him you can't go on this way. Tell him how sorry you are. If he cannot forgive you, then it's divorce time. Honestly, he would be better off without having to worry about you on these trips. Story 2. My M30 wife F30 append up about feeling trapped in our marriage and planned happy life with a house and children. How to go on? Dear all, I am with my wife since nearly 7 years. We met when we both were 23. I was a full-time student, she was working since she was 16. I was finished my MSc till 27 and she meanwhile did a BSc part-time next to work. Since ever all she wanted in her life was to own a house and to have a family. For me marriage was always important, not because of religion, but because I dream of having someone to share your whole life with. So after I finished my degree we got engaged and started to plan our wedding. 1 month prior to our wedding she opened up to me that the thought of marriage makes her feel caged. She also told me that she was somehow interested in my younger brother for over a year and had time dreams of him. My brother looks quite like but back then I was maybe 15 kilograms overweight and he goes to the gym since several years. She also told me that she doesn't understand it since beside him having a good body he smokes weed every day, lives with my parents at 27 and isn't near finishing his degree. And she always wanted to have that stable relationship. We had some talks over it and got to the point that those feelings can happen but as long as I am her first choice, she cannot change how she feels. She told me those feelings went away later when we started work on the house. You will read it later. In the last year we had similar talks around 3-4 times. To let you know something about our situation, since March we are renovating my grandfather's house who passed away. I has a nice garden where a big swimming pond like she always dreamed of has enough space. While in the beginning I wasn't totally into the project, I also want a house but I can be a bit lazy. When we started it, I dove right into and really started to like the work. As an engineer all the technical work, speaking with construction companies etc. is in my responsibility, so until it gets to the point where you choose floor or room colors, that's most of the work. The project somehow made me a man taking responsibility or sometimes growing some balls and fight with the companies because something isn't working out etc. During the first month she was also very into it. But by July, where we hired the first big company we had a lot of problems with them, she lost interest in the project. She told me and I believed her that all the work is too much for her and she needed a break. She worked like no other woman during deconstruction for several months. Around the same time, she started to play an online game. Since then, she spends all her free time with it. She has some guys that she play regularly with. Some part of me understood her, because I was addicted to and morph when I was 14-16. Playing was still a lot of fun, that's why I did it so much, and since till now she was the most responsible person I know, I thought she could handle it. I was at the construction site every day after work for 3 more hours, so I basically came home to sleep. Since then she also started to want to cuddle a lot more when going to bed. We do not spend a lot of other time together right now, leading to S time, which was actually lost the cuddling before S time since we were in our first year together, which at first made me live with the situation. The last 2 weeks I turned the work at our house down a bit, because it is also getting a bit too much for me too. When I want to spend time together I have to offer he something to do because it feels like suddenly we don't have anything to talk about. Regarding the house, she just wants short reports like you would give to a colleague at work. I hear how much fun she has with those guys. She says they nearly only talk about the game, but I always felt like there is a bit more about it other than the game. Especially because she told me it is so nice to learn about guys from other countries, how their life is, etc. On Saturday at 2 a.m. in the morning, she knew or stood up so late, but noticed because she wants to play with the guys from different time zones. We brushed teeth. She told me she would follow into bed for cuddling after finishing doing her face washing and so on. She left me waiting 25 minutes while I heard she was chatting with someone. That hurt me a lot. I told her this yesterday. During the last weeks I feel very unimportant to her. When I got back from work, not normal work, but building our future home at 8 p.m. while leaving for normal work at 6 a.m., she doesn't even bother cooking something for me. She only told me, "I am so hungry, what do we eat?" We normally eat at 5 p.m. when we both get back from regular work. During the last weeks our communication is very bad and there are a lot of misunderstanding, partly because she doesn't bother to take the time to talk to me, partly because I feel hurt and don't want to run after her trying to make everything clear. Yesterday, after coming home from meeting the plumber at the house, she told me that she feels so trapped in her life, with being married, having a house together and planning to have children. She also told me that she wants to have feelings towards other guys now at some of the guys online. And while I again told her that having feelings is not bad, she said she cannot guarantee that only having feeling will be enough for her. She assured me that she had the same feeling for me when we met, but over the time a relationship changes. And she was very unsure if we should have children 2021. This was quite a shock for me because for the time I know her, her priorities were always to have a safe relationship with a self-owned house and a family. After that I wanted to spend some time for me, and later on we had a talk where she started with THT. She already feels a lot better than before. She is on her period right now. IDK, if this explains anything, she never had it before this year because of the pill she took. For me, I still love her, I try to make her happy, maybe a bit too much. The last year I started to work on my nice guy problem and in general becoming a man. I also lost 10 kilograms and changed my body from saggy overweight to fit but with a belly. She is my first girlfriend ever. She had some relationships before, but was never an easy to get girl. I honestly do not know how to react to this now. We had a talk concerning this multiple times now, but she never doubted having children with me. At every talk she tells me that it is not about S time but having the feeling you have when falling in love. She says that those would go away again, so she never doubts me as her choice, and she also says that she wouldn't want to have an open or polygamous relationship because it doesn't work with having a family. This invokes the fear in me that she has simply never found the right guy and at some point she will go away from me. And with this feeling I am starting to questioning building a house for us and especially having children. Also because simply putting the house project completely to the side invoked a fear in me that she would do the same with a child. I know I cannot say make your choice for me now or go because you need to be able to solve problems like that to stay together for a lifetime. If I would force a decision for me now, the topic would come back in some months or year where in the worst case we would have a young child. I nevertheless feel very hurt and betrayed because I invest nearly all of my free time since the end of last year into the house, read about technical stuff, how to build a house properly, etc. And what she says now, not what we always said our relationship would be. Her rowing back in the evening after seeing I was hurt doesn't really help me either. It only makes me afraid that in the future she wouldn't tell me. I don't know how to confront her today after work. Somehow I don't want to fight for her because I invest more than enough in our future. And running after her is now what I want to do in my life. Some years ago I would have done so anytime, but my over the last year gained self-confidence keeps me from running after her all the time. And other hand I fear that showing I am hurt will push her away more. Should I insist that she stops having contact with those guys? This would play right into her feeling caged. I don't know. I hope my story is understandable. English isn't my main language and else I only write technical texts. Please help me or tell me what you think I have to hear. Thank you. Update: if my M30 wife F30 feels trapped, I need to let her go. Breakup preparation? Hi guys. Many of you guys recommended counseling. We tried that, but I aborted it after the first session, because I could only get her to talk about what she feels, but she made clear she is not going to make any steps in my direction. Still, the only thing that interests her is her online game and the guys who she plays with. She has somehow seen that our marriage is brittle and tries, but I feel that it is work for her and not something she wants to. 2 weeks ago we had a fight because she told me she wants to meet some guys in RL that she met online, all from other countries, so it's not easy in this times, and that if she has feelings for them she wants to act them out. And if it's not okay for me, I can end the relationship. It's up to my choice. In the last 2 weeks I have thought a lot about how to go on. And by now I am quite confident that letting her go equals divorce. Not letting her go see that guys is the only way. I honestly do not believe that we can manage, that we can get together again, because at some point, there was simply no us anymore, and that made me lose my trust in her. It hurts me that she is somehow trying now, but I cannot go on anymore with it. I recently discovered that she shows very strong signs of narcissism. Reading about it online gave me words to describe what was wrong in our relationship all the years. I am going to prepare myself for the following weeks. We live in a flat owned by my parents. I don't want to kick her out immediately, but I will stay in that house, which will be a very hard time for both of us. If you experienced a breakup, please tell me what were the things you think you did very well and are happy with, and what are the things you did wrong. Thank you. Big update. Found out she had a cyber affair after actually being ready to make the separation talk when we come home. We fought, I couldn't make the hard cut, and I broke in emotionally. We said we don't want to throw away what we have. But it felt fake. I looked through the files and found out there were self-written love stories with her and one of the guys. It was dated 2 days before I googled online affairs and had the feeling it was exactly that. I came to it because of some posts in the initial post. My belly feeling was right. This gives me a lot of self-esteem. I got all the proof for this as well. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, have you told her you're now filing for divorce? Have you hired an attorney? Don't allow her to manipulate the situation. She made her wants of meeting others clear. Those feelings won't go away. Do what you have to do for your own peace of mind. Redditor 2, getting out from under a narc is hard. She is trying now because, though she still wants what she wants, the other guys, whatever, she is at risk of losing. Narcs hate to lose. You are a supply. Attention. Validation. Supply. CBT my dude. Even if you can't get into a therapist, get the book Mind Over Mood. It will help anchor you so that you can reclaim your reality. Because a narc loves to duck with your reality with the projecting, guilt trips, pity parties and gaslighting, some or all of which you may have encountered. CBT helps you frame your mind to reorient your feels. I am sorry you are going through this. Redditor 3, op. Google Gray Rock technique for keeping your sanity during this trying time when you deal with her.